Hey, hello. Okay, could not get on. How's everybody? Doing good? Okay. Let me get everybody muted. All right. Hello, hello. It's so good to see y'all. All right, let's see. How can we do? Okay, good. All right, we're recorded. Hello, everybody. I'm Nikki Moore. If you don't know who I am, I'm an ambassador diamond with the company, and I will be your host for the evening. So I'm super excited to have you guys all on. Super fun. See, Becky, everybody's talking about your new office. She's chatting on the phone, not listening to anybody. So, all right. Anyways, it's been a crazy day. There was a little bit of a confusion about who was going to lead tonight. Denise was going to do the call tonight, and she is actually at Pam Souders tonight. She's in Florida. And so I happily do this for her and for you all. I'm super excited to share. So I don't know. I don't have any. I was racking my brain thinking about topics, thinking about what should I cover. And I didn't get too much feedback. And so I thought, what else but a millionaire mindset? I'm super excited for green carpet right around the corner. This year has been exceptional. I think it's been a phenomenal year with all of the things that corporate has given to us, all of these amazing promotions for distributors, for customers. I feel like we haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg yet. I'm super excited to see what rolls out at Green Carpet. I know there's a new product coming out. I'm super excited to see if there's a distributor promotion, if there's new bonuses. I mean, I really think he knocked it out of the park with the match it bonus this year, the rank up bonus. There were a lot of things for us to take advantage of. And so I just want to make sure that we're ready. We're ready to roll with that. We're ready to roll with whatever Mark throws at us and whatever the corporate team gives to us. And so I want to start with our mindset first. We all know that action is what breeds success. But sometimes I think that we can be our own barrier to that. You know, I think that we can, I'm going to make sure that everybody is, there we go. All right. Hopefully people will mute themselves as they pop on. But anyways, we want to make sure that we are kind of not a barrier for our own success and our mindset and how we are looking at things and how we're looking at the way that our business is. Because let's face it, we all have real life. We all have things that happen to us. There are circumstances that are sometimes out of our control. Sometimes things are within our control and they just spiral out of control according to our choice or maybe the choices of other people. But it happens to the best of us. It's called life. And so what happens is when some of these circumstances happen or they affect us, they can trigger these feelings of elation, of disappointment. They can bring us up and they can kind of push us down. And I want you guys to all recognize that we all experience these ups and downs with our businesses. We all go through ups and downs in our lives. And every business, our business, we're going to experience those ups and downs. I mean, we're crazy if we think that our business and our circumstances and our life is always going to be on an upward trend. It's just not the way that it is. I mean, how would we learn from our mistakes? How would we learn from our experiences? How would we grow? How would we even know to push ourselves if we didn't have some of those little valleys, some of those little dips that we have in life? We have mountains and valleys. So the key component, I believe, for your millionaire mindset, for your success, is your emotional mindset and how you control your emotions, how you manage them. You can take your disappointments and you can turn them into victories if you can just see the forest through the trees. It's okay to be let down. It's okay to be disappointed. Sometimes we get into maybe a season in our life where we're a little bit more depressed. Sometimes we get in a season in our life where we're just like higher than high, all of this stuff is good because it drives us, it pushes us, it makes us better. this is what allows us to see the lesson in things, you know? This is the thing that will be able to be the catalyst for our growth. And so I know that sometimes our frustrations can knock the wind out of us, and it's okay. It's part of the journey. It's okay. We're all going to fall at some point. We're all going to be disappointed at some time. But the key component here is that you get to decide whether you fall forward or you let it push you back. You get to decide this. And I think so many times people play a victim mentality. You know, they have that victim mentality where they're thinking of things that are happening to them, and they're not even recognizing that you have control over how you feel with this, you know, how you refocus, and what your next step is to show up in your business, to get going, and to move forward with success. These are your responses or your reaction. And those on my team who have been with me for quite a while, I've talked about that. You can choose to respond or you can choose to react to things, you know? Have you ever been out and about and somebody cuts you off? You know, you're driving and you're going down the highway and somebody cuts you off, and then you see them kind of doing the same thing up ahead, you know, and you're like, whoa, you know, we can choose to react and be angry and, you know, curse this person up and down, or we can choose to respond and think, okay, I'm going to ease up a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I have a little bit more room between me and the next car. I'm going to be a little bit more aware of my surroundings, and it's going to help me heighten my senses so that I'm ready and prepared if something like this happens again. Instead of cursing them up and down, speeding up, trying to cut them off, you get to choose how you respond or you react to other people around you. And that's going to speak a lot more volumes, your actions versus their actions. You know, we all know people that are kind of jerky, but I always love to see people's responses. Now, I will tell you a lot of times in the past and in the future, I know that I will react versus respond, but I think the goal is to respond, to have that more of that positive mindset, so to speak. So when we think about that, where is your financial thermostat set at? Where is your financial mindset set at? I want you guys to be getting ready to grab a piece of paper. I'm going to make you work a little bit instead of just listen. So I'm much better at just chatting at you on the phone versus a Zoom, looking at everybody. But I'm going to make you grab a pen and a paper, so get that ready. But think about, where is your financial thermostat set? Is it set up high for wealth and abundance and prosperity? Are you like at that level where you expect it? Like you're like, yes, I'm going to have abundance. Yes, I'm going to be prosperous. Yes, I'm not going to have to worry about a thing. My success level, my financial thermostat is so high. Or is it down low to just not enough, or I'm just getting by? You know, do you have that financial thermostat set where you have just enough money at the end of the month that you're like, okay, whew, I'm okay? Now, I want you guys to look at your situation. I want you to look at your life. That is how you decide on where your financial thermostat is. Your thoughts and your beliefs about money is reflected in precise detail from your environment. What is your environment telling you? Is it telling you that you live in abundance, or is it telling you that you live in a lack of? Is it telling you that you're getting by with just enough? Somewhere in between here and here for most of us, right? All of that's determined by where your financial thermostat is set. I know first personal experience. I have never ever worried about money. I never have. It was never of concern to me. Even when I was waitressing and bartending, I always just had enough to do what I wanted to do. You know, when I was single, it was like when I worked at the mall or I worked as a bartender or whatever, I always had enough money so that, you know, things could get paid. I could go get a new outfit for Friday night and then go out with my friends all weekend and then go back to, the 9-to-5 work or whatever. And I just had enough, and I was happy and I was content with that. And that's where I was at that period in my life. But I never worried where is my next anything going to come from? My financial thermostat was set at, I'm okay, I'm not going to stress about this. It's the one thing I've never stressed about was money. And I don't know where that came from. Well, as children, we're taught about how to think about money. We were taught about how little we can have, how much we should have, how difficult it is, or how easy it is to come by. Some of us were taught to think like rich people were greedy. I know that my dad would always talk about, when is enough enough? When are these people ever going to be satisfied? We were middle class, lower middle class. And, he's like, oh, those narcissists, they don't even need all of that stuff. And how many houses do they need? And how many this and how many that do they need? So it kind of in the back of my mind, it was a little bit of like, rich people are greedy. And, it's really interesting. As I'm talking to you, I'm having a little epiphany thinking about this example that just kind of came to my head. But one of the things that I've struggled with as a distributor with the company is, when is enough enough? I truly have thought, do I need to make more than that? Do I need to make more, than my current check, because I have everything I need in my debt? We made Millionaires Club in 3.5 years. And we paid off our home, our vehicles, credit cards in 3.5 years. We paid about over $400,000 in debt in 3.5 years. And we were kind of like, I didn't spend money frivolously. I didn't buy, I didn't get a Louis Vuitton. I got some clothes here and there, but nothing extravagant, nothing that I wouldn't have otherwise bought on my teaching schedule. But I just wanted to make sure that all of it went to bills, and that's probably, that thermostat was set a little bit by my parents. And I need to challenge that a little bit as I'm talking through it with you guys. I probably need to challenge it because some of us were taught that way, that rich people, when is enough enough? Rich people are greedy. Some of us, I'm teaching my kids, it might as well be you. The money's got to flow through somebody's hands, right? It might as well be yours. Money is not the root of all evil. It's what you do with it. Do you worship it? Do you idolize it? Or do you use it for good? To me, money is just another thing that I can use. I mean, I have a nanny that I employ. I have a house cleaner that I employ. I have things that money can gladly flow right through my hands to the next person. I don't mind being that catalyst, and I don't mind being that middle person, right, for that. So, I can't look at the chat. I start to look at the chat. So I want to teach my kids that. I want to set their thermostat so high that somebody's going to make the money. It might as well be you, and it might as well be in the hands of somebody that's going to do something decent with it instead of somebody that is going to do ill with it, So check that in yourself. Think about that right now. How was your thermostat set as you were a child? The cool thing about all of this is we can work through it, whether it was set low or so high, or I don't know that so high is too high. I don't believe that. But if it was at a place where you're not comfortable with, let's fix that. Let's change it. So we want to, let's go back to looking at what is it set at right now because of what it was set as a child. Again, I don't worry about it, but I do sometimes look at my purchases and I do sometimes think, oh my gosh, is it over the top? And if you compare me to some people, I know I'm not over the top, right? Now, if you compare me to some other people might think I live a little extravagant. I mean, whatever. So we need to set our own thermostat. We need to be very conscientious of this. Somebody did a podcast on this. Ray Higdon. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to write that name down so I can look up that person. Sorry. See? Okay. Can you try? All right. So where's your financial thermostat set? So what we want to do is we want to change where that mindset is, where that thinking is. We want you to have a millionaire mindset. I want you to be ready for an influx of abundance. I want you to be ready to say yes to your best financial situation that you decide. because you get to decide this, guys. It's not for me to decide. It's not for your downline. It's not for your upline, your sidelines. It's not if your sister or your best friend is doing well. I think we hold ourselves back too. Like, I don't want to make more money than my sister because I'm going to feel bad then. What is she going to think of me? That I'm going to feel bad that I left her behind. Stop that. You decide your mental thermostat, your financial thermostat. You decide that mindset for yourself. And what we want to do is we want to get that so hardwired that is your point. That even if the pendulum swings a little bit, you always come back to where you set it. You always come back there. So you, again, you're going to have ups and downs. I mean, your financial thermostat might be set here. You might have a period in your life where you're like doing this kind of a thing, right? What if you do this? What we want to do is we want to hardwire it so much that you always come back to where you know you should be, where you believe you should be, okay? With this, I think we're hardwired for this. That's why we'll see, like, you ever see these lottery winners and they win like millions of dollars? I mean, like $100 million. Okay. Now, I will say after making $1 million in my first 3 years, you know, like $1 million, it doesn't go very far anymore these days. It truly doesn't, unfortunately. So it can, but doesn't always. But I'm still looking at these people who've made 10, 20, 30, $100 million. They've won it in the lottery. And then you catch up with them like 2 or 3 years later and they're broke. And you're like, what did you do with all of that money? Where did all that money go? But that's where their financial thermostat was set. They were broke. They were just getting by. They had scarcity in their life. They didn't believe that they belonged in this new neighborhood that they bought this house in. They didn't believe that they were worthy of having this type of a lifestyle where they could buy organic food and, you know, whatever it was, right? So that's why that happens to them. Don't let it happen to you. I have an example here. The political thermostat might be in for a few of you, but this is a really great example. Donald Trump, at one point, he was more than $2 billion in debt. Okay, but his financial thermostat, I mean, whatever, you can look at the history, it's set for big, it's set for billionaire. And then he's back on top with his net worth is like $5 billion bucks, right? So we can look at that. We can look at Mark Pentecost, right? He did really, really well with his company. The company was not going well. And as he was climbing up and building, it works. Even Doug Nooney at one point had said, who was the CFO, and his buddy, you know, they started this up and everything. He said, at what point are we going to stop? Because we're not making money, you know? And this was a few years, like 5 years into their business. They say most network marketing companies go broke in their first, 5 to 7 years, something like that. It's a real critical time, which is, you know, why you should never start an MLM, get in an MLM in that beginning phase. But he pushed through. A lot of people might say, oh, I don't think so. I don't want to go in debt starting this business. I think Mark's financial thermostat was set high. And so that has pushed us up. And thank God he had that millionaire mindset when he started this company, because he's changed the lives of so many people, mine included, yours included. So think about that. So how can we check it? How can we reprogram it? We need to train our brain where to go. We always go where our mind tells us to go. The brain is so powerful. You know, it's our computer. It's our think tank for us, right? Our brain is us. And so we can program it. We can put it all in so that it will do what we ask it to do. The mind is a powerful, powerful thing. And so you need to tell yourself what you want. You need to tell yourself where you're going to be, okay? A millionaire mindset is not wallowing in the place that you are, thinking you can never be where you want to be. A millionaire mindset envisions yourself in the place that you want to be, even though you're not there yet. That's what a millionaire mindset does, is it changes the whole trajectory of where you are going. When I was I think I shared this example on a call before, but when I was getting my motorcycle endorsement, one of the things that they taught us was to just look in the direction that you're going. So when we're going around a turn, I think about like an entrance ramp to the highway. You know how they curve, they just keep curving around. Well, when you're turning on a motorcycle, you're not supposed to be like this. Looking, you are on your bike, okay? We don't do this with it. We're on our bike and we're looking, and as we're looking, our body's leaning into the direction that we want to go. So it's not like a turn, like I know I got to go right and I want to keep going right. It's a kind of like, where am I going? And you follow, your body follows that. Your mind is going to follow where you look. Look to where you want to be, because the rest is going to just fall into place. It's going to fall right behind. Okay. So let's do a little quiz. Here's your paper. Here's your pen. Okay. Get your paper, get your pencil out. And I want you to truly answer these things. Okay. Let me see where we go. Okay. Look at where you are right now. Do you experience, and we don't have to share these, this is for you. Do you experience more scarcity in your life, or do you have more abundance? Now, I'm not talking about super rich. I don't mean like that kind of abundance, but do you have more than you need? Do you have an abundance? Do you have it where you don't really have to worry about too many things? Or are you scarcity as in like, I better wait to make this purchase until next payday because I can't afford this $50. Not 500, like 25, 30, 50 bucks. Scarcity or abundance? Where are you? Okay. Do you truly believe that you can have what you desire? Or do you settle for what you think you can afford? And I'm not always talking about a material thing, but maybe your position in life, I guess. Okay? Do you believe you can truly have what you want, like whatever you want? Do you believe that? Do you believe you're worthy of that? Or do you settle for what you think that you can afford? Number 3. Are you a good money manager, or does money just slip through your fingers? I believe that God will give us more when we can show him that we can handle what he's been given us, right? I think that by showing God that you can manage the money and that you can put it towards good things, then he's going to give you more. Do you work hard for your money, or do you let your money work hard for you? That's kind of a tricky one, right? So that always kind of brings me back to the thought process of, as business owners with network marketing companies, I believe we let money work for us, right? If we build a strong organization, we've really invested. I know that my first 2 years in this business, I worked harder and longer and more my first 2 years in this business than I did when I was teaching, for sure, hands down. I also knew about short-term sacrifices. I believed that I could create a really strong foundation in the first few years in my business, and that the rest would just stand after that. I believe that I could work really, really hard now for benefits later. And it's true. I worked so very hard in my first 2 to 3 years. I was up at 6, 7 a.m. in the morning to get some stuff done before I went to work. And then I was up way past when the kids went to bed so I could work my business. I worked really hard for my money then, but it never was the same as trading my time for money. That's what I think about when I think about working hard for your money, is trading your time for money. Okay. Does it seem that no matter how much money comes in, there's never enough? Do you feel like that? Do you feel like, oh my gosh, there's never enough. It doesn't matter. I'm never going to catch up. Okay, so take a look at your answers. And how'd you do? Do you feel like you have an abundant mindset, a millionaire mindset? Or do you see any stinking thinking about money? Do you see any like, oh, money is the problem? Because money's not a problem. It's just it's nothing. It's not a person. It shouldn't evoke those types of responses. It just is a thing. It's a bartering tool. So how do you feel about money? That's going to reflect about how it is given to you, how you receive it, how you're able to give it away. Okay? So kind of just resonate on that. So let's think about, now that we kind of know where we're at, the position that we're at with our mindset, with our view towards abundance and scarcity and what we believe that we should, our values, so to speak, really. How can we raise that financial thermostat? How can we get our belief set a little bit higher? How can we fill our cup a little bit more to be more? How can we do that? Okay. So I want you to take a couple minutes, and I want you to write down 5 to 10, maybe 5 to 10 things that are holding you back. Like, do you have any tiring, limiting, old beliefs about yourself? You know, like, I'm not worth it. I can't. I mean, I go through this period a lot of times. I can't sign distributors. And then I can't. I don't. You know, it's like, Nikki, what are you telling yourself? I know I can. I've proven that I can. But I've gone through those valleys. So write down 5 to 10 of those. I have a limiting belief on Instagram. I shared with my team. I never really kind of jumped into Instagram too much because I always thought I'm too old. I'm not cute enough like some of those Instagram girls. My pictures aren't polished and bleached out white like these girls' pictures. And so therefore, nobody's going to want to join my team from Instagram. I mean, that's dumb. That is a dumb thought process. Because I'm just figuring out what it takes now, right? I mean, we can change that. We can only change that if we overcome our mindset, though. I could let that stinking thinking overtake me and let that be just an old, tired out script in my head. Or I could say, holy crap, I'm going to recognize this and I'm going to figure out how to do pretty bleached pictures. You know, I can do it, right? Take the bull by the horns and get to work. So, all right, so now that you have those 5 to 10 beliefs, and you can continue to work on this at another time, I want you to replace those with the positive, with the affirmation, with the abundance. I want you to replace that. So when I don't know how to make pretty pictures on Instagram and I'm too old and I'm not like this cute 19-year-old on Instagram, nobody's going to do it, I'm going to say, yeah, but there's women out there in their 30s, in their 20s, in their 40s, and they're still going to respect me. And they're still going to want to do business with me. And I still have a lot of good qualities to offer them. I've got an A team. And of course, they're going to want to join me. And I can figure out how to make pretty pictures. Okay? So, therefore, I am good at Instagram. I am a rock star recruiting machine on Instagram. I'm going to have a whole freaking leg built from Instagram. Okay? Then what's another tired one that you might have? I can't sign distributors. You can't not sign distributors. People flock to you. You know what to say. you know how to make them feel, and they want to join your team. Whatever it is, I mean, these are just some examples, right? But whatever you're thinking, I'm too old. No, you're not. You're still here and you're still breathing. You still have lots of value. Okay? The only time you're too old is when you're in the ground. That's the only time you can't work this business. So replace that with your new things. And this might require a little bit more time than we're going to be afforded here. And you might need to be a little bit more introspective than you can be on a Zoom. Okay. So I just want you to know that you can change that, but you have to recognize it in order to change it. So, so then the next part of this with those affirmations is once you've created kind of that balance for yourself, I want you to write some statements about yourself, about your business. And I would like to have, again, 5 to 10, a minimum of 5. Don't just make 10 to make 10. If you feel like you've just got 3 or 4 or 5 strong affirmations, go with it. But I want you to put this out here in terms of things that you want. I know I can be and I can do anything I desire. I am strong and healthy. I live in abundance. My money works hard for me. I am so grateful. There is always more than enough for my family and I. I speak life into other people. I love the life that I am creating for myself. I am happy and joyous every day. I feed my mind with positivity like I feed my body with good food. I am perfectly made. I do my best every day. Things like that. Those statements are what you're going to tell yourself every morning. I don't get out, I got these, I just went and bought some of these little index cards, just pretty ones, right? Pretty colored, pretty ones. They're not pretty, but and you could put them right on here and even get a little ring binder, right? You can do this with Bible quotes, with scripture, things that lift you up, that fill you. You could do that and you could look through them. And you could take just 5 of them if you wanted to. And just bring that next to your bedstand every night and in the morning before your feet even hit the floor. Remind yourself of how amazing you are, how capable you are, how worthy you are, how freaking genius you are. I am genius, what a distributor magnet you are. Whatever you want to tell yourself that in the morning before you get out of bed. Okay? So, the next thing how much time do I have? Oh my gosh, I only have 20 more minutes. See, I do this. I never think I have enough, and then I just start to go with it. So, okay, the next thing I want you to do, okay, that's your affirmations is the first thing. The second thing I want you to do is write your new script for your life, okay? What do you want? What are your goals? What do you want? What did you set out to do? I want a beach home on Anna Maria Island. truly. I'm kind of thinking I'd like a cottage here too, but I'm still balancing it out in my head because then I feel like I have this beautiful home with a pool that was on my dream board that we were able to obtain. And then I think, gosh, if I get a cottage, then I'm going to feel guilty to not be at my cottage in the summer, right? And then I'm going to leave my pool when the only time that I can use it in the summer. So anyways, decide what you want. So I want X amount in the bank. I want a home on the beach on Anna Marie Island. I want to, just trying to think of things. I want to pay off my student loans. I want to pay off debt. I want to help my kid through college. Whatever you have for yourself, I want you to think about it, okay? I want you to think about those things that you want for yourself. And then I also want you to think about, what is your perfect day? What does it look like, okay? So take some time outside of this. You're not going to do it right now. Write a script about things that you want, okay? Put yourself in the story of about how successful you are. Then one of the things that I did with my team, I had an accountability team with group with a few people. They had to qualify to get into the group, and we just worked together for a few months. But one of the things that I made them do is from a book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. What do you say? I'll get the book. I have it right here. It's kind of a little dry, but it's got some good points in it. I'll just tell you that what to say when you talk to yourself. Shad Hemstetter. Mike Patillo had told me to get this book a while ago. And one of the things, like what to say when you talk to yourself. I can do anything I believe I can do. I've got it, and every day I get more of it. I have talent, skills, and ability. I have goals, and I reach them. I know what I want out of life. I go after it, and I get it. People like me, and I feel good about myself. I have a sense of pride in who I am and believe in myself. So it's these positive affirmations. He's got affirmations to stop smoking. He's got affirmations, I don't know, different ones. But one of the things that he said to do was think about what you want, where you want to be, and then kind of design that, and then voice memo yourself. Okay, so I've got my voice memo, and it's hard. It's hard to create your voice memo. It's even harder to listen to it. So those of you who did it with me know firsthand. But so I had a voice memo to myself, and it walked me through the beginning. Good morning, Nikki. What a beautiful day. You just give thanks to God for the day that you've been given, and you're so lucky to be alive. And it goes on to say just like, I can't believe you were able to pay off your second home by 2020. It's so amazing that you got not only your first home paid off in 3.5 years, but then your second home paid off in another 3 years. And you are actually getting ready to go to your beach home in Anna Marie Island. It's just so amazing. You set out to hit this goal and you did it. You fill yourself up with God's word every day in the beginning because people look up to you and you just speak life into other people. And so I just talked myself through my affirmations and through my goals. And I also talked to myself as though everything that I wanted was obtained. Okay? You paid off your house, like you said, by 2020. So that way, every time that I listen to it, I'm reminded 2020, oh my gosh, that's when my house is going to be paid off. That was the goal I set for myself. Oh my gosh, I have to have my beach home by 2020. Whatever. And so I want you to do that. I want you to put it out, and then I want you to create a voice memo to yourself. If you have an iPhone or an Android, I think you can do it on Android, but you can search up your voice memo, and you can download it if it's not on there. But it's under voice memo, and I got 2 cool things on my voice memo. I have my accomplishments, which are 10 minutes, and I got Baby Briar's heartbeat. Isn't that cool? I forgot that was on there. But here. Can you hear?
Nikki, what a beautiful day. It feels so good to be up, so grateful to have another day to call my own. And I love waking up and being able to put God first and listen to His word through my daily devotionals. These daily devotionals just set you free, and they really set the tone for the day. And I love that I've been doing them and that I've been so consistent with them.
Could you hear that? Could you tell what I wasn't doing that I wanted to do more of in my life? Get up and listen to my dang devotionals, right? This reminds me. So when I get up and I play this, what I do is I have a stand-up shower, and it doesn't go all the way up, so I just put it on the top and I play it while I'm in the shower, so I listen to it. And if I get in that shower and I'm like, oh, I didn't do my daily devotional today, it reminds me to go do it after my shower, okay? It's holding me to the fire. It's holding me accountable. That's what I want you guys to do. And it sounds like, because I'm thinking I should have written it all out, but I had bullet points. So bullet point it, write out your story, read it to yourself. It's awkward. It's still awkward to hear myself because my speech is weird, but whatever it takes. The message is getting there. Your mind is going to go where you tell it to go, okay? So write your script along with the things and the goals that you want out of life. What do you want, okay? Count your wins, guys. This is another thing. Count your wins. I think so many times, especially in this industry and with this business, it is so easy to focus on what we are not doing and what we're doing wrong, how we're not doing it well enough as the next person. Stop. I actually was speaking with somebody today about what was it like when you first got started and this and that, and how did you feel? And something came up and I said, interestingly enough, I didn't think about what other people thought about me. I didn't think about what other people were doing. My first 2 years on my goal for ambassador, I had my blinders up. I did not listen or look at what anybody was doing. Nobody. The only person that I knew in this industry was Denise Walsh. That was my sponsor. That is it. I met sidelines, but I didn't really watch too much about what they were doing because it didn't affect me. And by doing that, I was able to stay in my own lane, figure out what was working with me. It made me just harass the heck out of Denise, which was to my success. I'm telling you, some of my downline, they don't harass me enough. And then I don't hear from them, and then I go, oh gosh, what's going on? But I let her know that I was here and that I needed her guidance, but I also was working my booty off for her attention too. You know what I mean? So, but I didn't look to the left. I didn't look to the right. I counted all of my wins, which helped me keep going forward in succession. About 2.5 years into this business, I was ambassador. We're top money earners, making good money. And then at one day, I don't know, I took my blinders off and I was like, well, who's that person? Who's that new girl? Oh my gosh, this kid's like 20 years old and she's a top money earner. Oh my gosh, I think she's going to be higher than me in numbers. That doesn't lead anywhere good. That only leads to bad feelings, right? So just put your blinders on, dang it, and count your wins. Don't look to what other people are doing because it's your journey. Your journey is your journey. You were created and equipped to just be on this path for you, and nobody can compete with that, just like you can't compete with somebody else's. So count your wins. The fourth thing is commit to your financial success. Are you committed or are you interested? I mean, what's your temperature gauge set at that? When you're committed to something, you do it no matter how you feel. You just do it. You know, in the morning when you said, I'm going to message 10 people on Instagram and I'm going to message 10 people on Facebook a day and ask them, hey girl, I've been watching you. Would you like to join my team? You know, those people on your chicken list or whomever are on your prospect list. Or, hey, would you be interested in being a product tester for me? Or, let's book this vendor event. Or, hey, would you host a party for me? You know, if you tell yourself, that's what I'm going to do every day, and then you wake up and you only do it when you feel like it, then you're only interested. You're only interested. It's a hobby. It's a let me see how I feel kind of a business. If you get up and you're like, oh man, my day is full, but I'm gonna knock out these messages really quick. I'm gonna knock them out. I'm gonna take 30 minutes. I'm gonna give my thanks, my affirmations, and then I'm gonna knock these out of the park and be done with them. And so then I can check my messages later because I have such a busy day. That's commitment. Or I'm gonna set the alarm for 30 minutes earlier because I don't have time tomorrow to send out my messages. I wanna send them out before I start my day. That's committed. You decide if this is a business or if this is a hobby. You stay focused on the level of prosperity that you want, okay? You know what it takes. If you're so new and you're like, I don't know what it takes, you know that if you message 3 people a week, your chances of being an ambassador in 2 years is probably not that high, as somebody's gonna message 10 people an hour for 5 hours a day, every day of the week. Obviously, their output is going to get them more of the input that they want, So you can track that. You can look at that. You can track your activity, see what you do every day, and balance that and develop that. You always drive your business with action steps. And that's a whole other call in and of itself is action steps. But don't forget your asks. Don't forget your follow-ups. Decide what you want out of this business and reach it and meet it with that same commitment level that you want from your goals. One thing that I do suggest that would be helpful is I find myself on some days scrambling. Kids are home, summer vacation. I totally can relate. I have 5 children. They're 13, 11, 9, 3, and almost a year. So it's busy. I get it. But I think creating your 6 list on a Sunday or a Saturday or a Monday, whatever you're going to call the beginning of your week, whatever is your least busiest day. I try to reserve Sunday a little bit laid back more for my grocery shopping and being at home and just kind of being connected here. I'm trying not to be online too much, but I am. It depends on what's going on. But so that's a good day for me to create my 6 list. That's a good day for me to create. I think it's a little bit less scatterbrained, a little bit more committed to create your 6 list at the beginning of the week, the 6 things or the three list, depending on if this is part-time for you, what you're going to do each day, every day this week. Decide what you want to do in advance and hold yourself to it. The next Sunday, you can readjust your 6 list on, gosh, I had no problem sending out 10 messages a day every day. I'm going to up it to 12 this week. Okay, you can kind of adjust it and tweak it there. Okay. And then the last piece of this to kind of help with your millionaire mindset is to commit to your associate with oh my gosh, I'm having an aneurysm. Positive, I'm giving a stroke here. With positive, successful people, okay? So if you're feeling like you don't have a millionaire mindset, if you're feeling like you're kind of floundering right now, plug into some good professional development with some positive people, with people that you look up to. I don't care if that's, watching Elevation on YouTube, with Stephen Furtick, if you're watching like a sermon, if you're listening to a book on tape or audio, if you are watching a YouTube video, if you're watching a YouTube video about your business and you're watching some tips or some successful things that are going on, because that's how you want to spend your professional development time. Or if it's just really old-fashioned, which I love to do, don't have time for it right now, is open up a book. I like to open up books because I like to write in them and take notes, but that's because I'm old. So anyways, associate with positive, like-minded people, surround yourself with those people in your life, and do some professional development that's going to set you on the positive path. Those things are all going to be an influence to you. I'm going to say shut that dang TV off. I mean, I've joked with my kids about I can't stand, we were eating dinner really quick. My husband's painting right now because we're switching bedrooms, and CNN or something was on in the background, and they're they're always argumentative about something, and I got up and I turned it off, and my husband's like, I was listening to that. I'm like, I can't even hear this negativity anymore. All I hear is, wah, 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 wah. This person and these politics. And I'm like, I can't even hear that. And sometimes even these kids shows, I mean, they're crazy. I don't even want our brains filled with that, you know? I want to just keep things light, keep the vibration high, be positive, because you truly are like taking in everything in your environment. Get outside, breathe in the fresh air, get some sunshine, get some exercise, surround yourself with positive people, focus on the good, focus on your affirmations, decide what you want, figure out how you're going to get there. That is how you have that millionaire mindset. And that's how when you hear somebody say something negative, or you have a downward valley of a week or a month, or something happens to you, or tragic to the family, or something, you know, something out of our control that, you know, God forbid that doesn't happen, but you can rebalance yourself after a while. That doesn't have to be the end say for you. Okay. So get your temperature right, get it on track, get that millionaire mindset just flowing, so that when things do come at you, they either can just go right through you, they can bounce off you, or you can bounce right back. So I'm going to read this to you really quick. I thought this was really cute, and I thought this was really pertinent, okay? So I want you to just release that poverty mindset, embrace the abundance, because you're worth it, totally worth it. So this was from my special education training. I found this and I thought, oh my gosh, 10 rules for being human. You're going to receive a body. You may like it, you may hate it, but it's yours to keep for the entire period, okay? So I think let's feed it good stuff. That's good for our body, good for our soul, good for our mind. 2, you're going to learn lessons. You're enrolled in a full-time school called life. Number 3, there's no mistakes. No mistakes, only lessons. Growth is a process of trial, error, and experimentation. The failed experiments are much a part of the process as the experiments that ultimately work. Okay? Again, it's that mindset. Do you respond or react? How do you take that situation and flip it so it works for you? How do you create that abundance out of those things that could feel like scarcities? Number 4, lessons are repeated until they're learned. Lord, have I seen this already in my life. A lesson will be presented to you in various forms until you've learned it. When you have learned it, you can go on to the next lesson. 5, learning lessons does not end. There's no part of life that doesn't contain lessons. If you're alive, there's a lesson to be learned. Okay, so we're not going to escape that part. 6, I love this. There is no better than here. When you're there, you're somewhere else, the grass is greener on the other side, whatever it is, has become here. You're simply going to obtain another there that will look better than here. Isn't that fun? I love that. I was like, oh, I love this. I might put this, I got one of those little the letter boards, you know, so I can be Instagram worthy. You know what I'm talking about? I might put this on there. Okay. 7, other people are merely mirrors of you. You ever notice that? Birds of a feather flock together, right? They say you become most like the people that you hang out with, you know? So other people are merely mirrors of you. You cannot love or hate something about another person unless it reflects to you something you love or hate about yourself. That requires a bit of introspection for me. 8, what you make of your life is up to you. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it when I run into things and it affirms what I'm thinking, right? You have all the tools and the resources you need. What you do with them is up to you. The choice is yours. Number 9, your answers lie within you. The answers to life's questions lie within you. All you need to do is listen, look, and trust. 10, you will forget all of this. That was funny, right? So the 10 rules of being human. It applies to all of us. I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited to see what gets launched this week at Green Carpet. I truly believe that each and every one of you can have the success that you desire, the success that you want, but you have to first decide that you're worth it. You have to first decide that you are open to it, okay? Because if you keep saying, I can't, then you won't. But you need to start changing that verbiage and to say, I can, I will, and you'll start to receive it. So I hope that you put a little bit of these things into practice. I've done all of these myself, and what kind of spurred doing this is because I wanted to redo it again. I want to reset my affirmations, and I want to reset my goals. I have my goals posted in my bathroom, on my bathroom mirror. I have it in my office, on my office door, and I have it on my refrigerator, like on the side of my refrigerator. So 3 places that I see every day, as long as I'm home, right? But I have them there because I can look at them. And even if I'm not conscious of it, I still see it. It's still getting input into my brain, right? Just like that background of the CNN. I might not be listening to it, but it's still getting inputted into my brain. Okay? So be careful about what you let into your senses. But do that with your goals, and all of these things. Like I said, I've done it. I would never ask you guys to do something that I didn't do, and it's been helpful to me. So hopefully it'll be helpful to you guys. But thank you guys for sticking with me for a whole hour. I appreciate it. All right. Okay, so it was recorded, so I will get the recording posted to you guys as soon as I can. Have a good night.